The stocks discussed on Phil's Gang are not in any way a recommendation or solicitation to buy, sell, or hold. If considering acting on information presented, we first recommend you seek out a competent, licensed professional for advice. Get ready for the radio show that tells you what Wall Street doesn't want you to know.
Oh, I'm a money magnet. Money, money, money's coming to me. Money sets me free. I'm a money magnet. Money, 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 money's coming to me.
It's your daily dose of how to manage your money. And now it's time for Phil's Gang on the Off the Wall Street Radio Network. With your host, Phil Grande.
When do you think they're going to end QE for good?
They will never end QE for good. Within a few years, the asset purchases will be substantially higher than they are today.
And he was right. That was in 2013. We all said that. No way. When the market crashed in 2008, then all of a sudden they said, no, we're not going to have a recession. Let's not do a recession. Let's prop up the economy. Let's first prop up the banks. And we'll do that by QE. They started in 2008 printing $85 billion a month to go and buy treasuries to drop interest rates to zero to give that interest-free money to corporations and also give interest-free money, first of all, to the banks. So everybody could buy, those corporations and banks could buy their own shares back to artificially push the price up. That's not rebuilding an economy. You don't rebuild an economy through QE, this terrible printing of money. And remember, back in 2008, when they started this, it was Bernanke who lied to us. And he said, QE's a wonderful thing. We're going to print all this money. Yes, I realized that the rich is going to benefit the most because of the low interest rates. They're going to go out and speculate and make money. But all that money is going to dribble back down to companies by way of business investment, and that means that wages will go up. Well, that was a lie. No money ever dribbled back down to business investment. CEOs weren't taking the money and pushing it into business investment. They're taking the money and doing stock buybacks. And and guess what? They said, well, let's go to all that in QE. Don't worry about it. It's going to end in 2014. Because by 2014, we would have, the economy would have recovered. Well, you don't recover an economy by printing money to go and buy treasuries to drop interest rates to zero that only benefits the rich, benefits the banks. That doesn't work. You got to benefit the workers. You got to benefit Main Street. That's what works. Printing money. So to produce stuff. To produce stuff, you need workers. The more we produce, the more workers we need, the more money they get paid. But they changed that monetary policy. We don't need that monetary policy. We can just move the stock market up by doing quantitative easing, by keeping interest rates at zero. And then the other thing we can do, keep printing even more money, and we'll go into the banks, and we'll go into all the large corporations, and we'll buy all their bad assets. We'll buy from the banks in 2008, 2009, 2010, all their bad mortgages, all their bad subprime mortgages. We'll just keep printing. We'll go buy all this, and we'll replace all those billions of dollars of bad mortgages they should be eating. The Fed, put it on our balance sheet, and we'll give them $8 billion in fresh money to reward them, and then they go and buy their own stocks to keep the market moving up, and we'll lie to everybody, say, oh, look at the market, look how things are doing. Well, here we are, 2014. Wait a minute. What's going on in 2014? I thought you said it's going to be the end of this craziness called quantitative easing, where you're printing money to get the CEOs to buy their own stock, to push their stock price up, which is a lie, which is a fake, which is all fraud. And you're also taking all this money and you're going in and you're buying from the banks their bad mortgages, you're buying from corporations instead of letting them go into bankruptcy. You're going in and buying all their assets. In return, giving them cash to stay alive, these zombie corporations. I thought in 2014 this was all going to stop. That we have a big recovery. Oh yes, we have a big recovery. But you know what? To keep the recovery going, we're going to keep on doing the QE for a little bit longer. That's 2013, 2014. It was supposed to stop. Think of it. Here we are, what, 8 years later, 78 years later, we're still doing the same damn thing. But now it's coming to a close. Coming to a close. You know what's going to take this down? Is stupidity. Capital gains tax. This really blows my mind. Capital gains tax. Did anybody watch on TV where that child, the child congresswoman, AOC, she was at some gala, New York gala, I think it was the Met Gala, and she wears a dress. And on the dress she says, tax the rich, tax the rich. Oh, and they're going to tax the rich. Yeah, they're following her lead. All these Democrats, they're all behind AOC, tax the rich. They're going to double the capital gains tax from 20 to 40% for this AOC, a child. Capital gains. Remember, the criticism by people like AOC and the rest of the people that it's a tax cut, it's a giveaway to the rich. Really? Giveaway just to the rich? Wait a minute. Let's identify what is capital gains. What is a capital gain? When a person takes a risk and buys a business, buys investment property, buys a stock, buys a bond, buys any kind of investment, taking a risk. Do you think AOC would ever take a risk? 90% of the people in Congress are sitting there, they never took a risk in their lives, especially the lawyers. Lawyers don't take risk. What's their risk? 2 secretaries and some computers? They don't invest. They never take a risk. The only people I know, you go and you start talking to them, they look at their watch and start charging you. They charge you while you breathe. That's risk-taking? Risk is when you can lose everything you put in. So there should be no benefit from that? Oh no, AOC doesn't think that. The socialists don't think that. No, you shouldn't be rewarded for risk. So are you telling me that everybody that came over from Europe to the new America, they took tremendous risk? How do you think we built this country? Taking risk. And when you take risk, you should be rewarded, not punished. But these people want to punish us. Talking about punishment. You know the real reason behind the stupidity of doubling capital gains is hatred. Because Trump cut the tax. You know, it's the same thing. If you go back and take a look at the capital gains tax being pushed by the liberals, especially the Democratic Party, let's think about it for a moment. You know it's hatred. Why? Because think about this. If you take a look at Clinton's successful economy, or you take a look at Kennedy or Reagan's successful economy, what was it based on? It was based on their capital gains cuts. And Clinton learned a very hard lesson. The same exact thing as going on today with that idiot AOC and the rest of the communists and socialists and liberals. On February 15th, 1993, Clinton came out and said the same thing they're saying today. Told the nation that he decided to increase taxes. It was needed to pay the increased spending. Isn't that the same thing we're hearing on this $5 trillion socialist bill? Oh, we're going to pay the $5.1 trillion socialist bill by increasing taxes on the rich. They said this, Clinton said this in 1993. Same thing. Here it is. He decided tax increases were needed to pay for increased spending, to invest in your future by creating jobs, expanding education, forming health care. God, they used the same words. Biden used the same words. The Democrats used the same words that Clinton was using for why they're going to increase capital gains. Well, what happened to Clinton? I'll tell you when I get back.
Want more information on this show? Go to philsgang.com or give them a call at 877-600-GANG.
Hi, I'm Phil Grande at philsgang.com. You probably heard me on the radio talking about investing in stocks and trading stocks. Well, this is a special message that I am sending out to you. You, the person who is the beginner, who are getting excited. You're seeing every day the stock market going up, never comes down, keeps going up because of the tremendous stimulus that the president is putting into this market. He wants to continue this market going up while the economy's going down. That's what it's doing. The economy's going straight down. You know, banks right now are the worst ever. They've gone down 40%. I mean, everything's going down. Companies aren't making money, but the stock market's still going up. And you got to be very, very careful when you get into a market like this. You got to know when to get out, and that's where we come in. So if you're a beginner and you want to start learning how to invest stocks properly and have the comfort level of knowing when to get out, when to buy, when to sell, and when to get out, contact us at philsgang.com. Join today, free for 10 days.
At St. Jude Children's Research Hospital, we're fighting against childhood cancer every day. At the heart of this battle are our donors.
Most of us want to make some type of difference in the lives of others. St. Jude does miraculous work.
The fact that no one has to pay, it's a place where everyone is treated as an equal.
Everybody is welcome here, and it doesn't matter your religion or what part of the world you're from, all that is taken away. It just gives you some hope.
It's just a nice feeling to put your energy into something that really does genuinely make a difference in a child's life.
There's just no greater gift. If we have the ability to help, then we have a responsibility to help.
Finding cures, saving children. St. Jude Children's Research Hospital. Find out how you can help at stjude.org.
What, are you nuts? If the stock market can make you so rich, especially Apple and Microsoft and Google and Amazon and the rest, why are so many Americans poor? If the 401k promises you a retirement, then why is it we are in a retirement crisis? Here's the answer. Because 85% of you get out of the market too late. I fixed that with my color-coded chart, which tells you when to buy, when to sell, and when to get out. That's right, when to run like hell. Check it out. You get a free membership and the free color-coded chart for 10 days. Check it out, philsgang.com. Hi, I'm Phil Grande at philsgang.com. You probably heard me on the radio talking about investing in stocks and trading stocks. Well, this is a special message that I am sending out to you. You, the person who is the beginner, who are getting excited. You're seeing every day the stock market going up, never comes down, keeps going up because of the tremendous stimulus that the president is putting into this market. He wants to continue this market going up while the economy's going down. That's what it's doing. The economy's going straight down. You know, banks right now, worst ever. They've gone down 40%. I mean, everything's going down. Companies aren't making money, but the stock market's still going up. And you got to be very, very careful when you get into a market like this. You got to know when to get out, and that's where we come in. So if you're a beginner and you want to start learning how to invest stocks properly and have the comfort level of knowing when to get out, when to buy, when to sell, and when to get out, contact us at philsgang.com. Join today, free for 10 days.
Short on time but want to invest in the stock market? Let philsgang.com help you. For only $39.95 a month, you get complete access to all of Phil's powerful investing programs, videos, and resources.
That works for me. Log in, watch the videos, and make profits.
Find out more at philsgang.com or call 877-600-GANG. That's 877-600-4264. philsgang.com.
Remember, when this market crashed in 2009, it should have never crashed because the chairperson of these two committees, their job was to protect consumers, protect our investments, and they're supposed to ensure that our investments are being monitored. Where were they in 2009 and 2008? They weren't anywhere because they don't do that. They take care of themselves. They protect themselves. They become richer. So you can't depend on these crooks in Congress. The stock market is a great place to be, but you just got to know this is a different market than your grandfather's market. So why don't you, for 30 days, join my gang, 877-600-GANG. Try it for 30 days, $39.95. Follow me. I tell you when to buy, when to sell, when to add, and when to run like hell. All I ask you, start making money. Please remember St. Jude.
Don't wait. Join Phil's Gang today and make profits. Go to philsgang.com or call 877-600-GANG. That's 877-600-4264. That's 877-600-4264. Welcome back. Are you ready to make profits in the stock market? Why not check out philsgang.com or give us a call, 877-600-4264. Now, here's Phil.
The market may be about to, quote, flip on its head. Savita Subramanian of Bank of America Securities joining us now. What does that mean, flip the market on its head?
I think that it's really the idea that a lot of the levers that have driven the S&P 500 to its, all-time highs are starting to reverse course.
Sure, they're going to reverse course. Remember I told you back in on January 16, 2018, I said the stock market's already began to crash. And I said what's going to take you down is all the big stocks, the big tech stocks, all those stocks that benefited from all these low interest rates starting back in 2013. That's when they decided to keep continuing with this QE, this printing of money, keep drive interest rates low. And that helped who? The big corporations that were falling on their head. See, those corporations, when the market crashed in 2008, usually you want to go into a recession. A good president would bring you into a recession. That's the best thing. We've always done that. I've seen it. Okay, we always done going into a recession because you clean out all the bad. Recession means reset. You got to reset prices. Things are so overpriced. Stocks are so overpriced. I mean, think about these stocks. PE ratios should be at 12. They're at 35, 37. Price to sales. The value placed on each dollar of a company's sales is nuts. Going crazy. I mean, and it's all from this QE. And all these big stocks benefited and been driving the whole stock market since 2013. Well, now we're starting to see the cracks. And the cracks are coming from the inflation. And there was all this printing of money and keeping interest rates so low has created such an increase in prices. The consumers no longer can afford it because wages have not gone up with the price increases. And I told you yesterday, here's the market's down 309 points. I hope you joined my gang. I said, please join my gang for 10 days. At least learn how to make money the same ease that you make money buying a stock. Only 20% of the people who are in a stock market ever make money. Because, one, 80% of the people lose because they do not know when to get out of a stock. They have no idea, or when to get out of the market. They have no clue. That's one of the biggest problems. Two, they turn around and they get so enthusiastic when you can prop up a market where you haven't had a 5% pullback in about 308 days. 5%. We haven't pulled back 5%, like I think it's 313 days now, without a 5% pullback. Why? Because of QE. When you keep pushing up a market like that, it doesn't do anything good for Main Street, because remember, all the money is going into the CEO's hands. They're borrowing money at zero rates or close to zero, and they're buying their own stock back to artificially push up their price of stock, and that's how they make money, because they have all the stock options. They have all the stock options. And all these stock options, they make a fortune. CEOs are making an extra $10 million a year on top of their salary. This is going on since 2013. But I want to get back to the real problem that's at hand right now, is the capital gains. This is what's going to tip this over into a crash. And I don't know how many times I begged you, why don't you join the gang for 10 days at least, free, and learn how easy it is to make money when the market goes down. The 80% of people who lose money don't do that. The 20% who make money constantly with the same the same skill they have in buying a stock, they sell a stock short. And today with technology, especially my own technology, is patent, a color-coded chart, which tells you. In fact, the other day, Apple. We had our members in Apple. Steve, who's the head of our education department, told them to take their profits the other day. We had a 19% gain. He put them in Apple. He saw a 19% gain, but the chart turned yellow. What is that? It's a call to action. There's no other chart in this nation that has that, where it goes from green, tell you, okay, money's going in, it's going up, but then turns yellow to tell you, call to action, the big boys are starting to pull their money out. How many times are you surprised? You wake up in the morning, all of a sudden your stock is down big time. You go, oh, what happened? That doesn't happen. And I'm not just telling you to take my word for it. Use it for 10 days, free. So Steve had a 19% gain. A call to action popped up on our chart. It was turned yellow. He got everybody out with a 19%, and then boom. Next day, Apple's starting to fall apart. Apple's falling apart. You know, this is an interesting thing. I wish I had the cut of it. But I was watching this. Oh, yes, we do have the cut. My producer just told me. Alex, thank you. Listen to this. This guy on Fox Business, was explaining everything about Apple, why it was going down.
And Dan, you've had a pretty big reversal in your opinion on Apple, and it's taken place just over the last week or so that you've been acting out on it. This went from being one of your biggest long positions to one of your biggest short holdings. Why is that?
Why is that? Let's talk to the expert. Why is that? Here comes the expert advice while Apple's going down.
If you look at their revenue streams, this company benefited tremendously from COVID. Mac sales, iPad sales, they were down year over year in the December quarter before COVID started, December of 19. And if you look at it in the March quarter, both of those businesses were up 70% plus year over year. Same thing with iPhone.
Okay, what he's saying is all these stocks were going up. When everything shut down after the market crashed 32%, we had a 113% rally. All these stocks that benefit from the shutdown went straight up. Well, there's no more shutdown. Of course they're going to start pulling back. But what's the difference? We know when to get out. Nobody else does. I'll explain when I get back. Join my gang free for 10 days.
Want more information on this show? Go to philsgang.com or give them a call at 877-600-GANG.
When the markets open, we watch the market all day long. And when we see there's an opportunity for a stock, and it's a stock that we've been following, there's a lot of stocks we put on our watch list, and it has to hit a certain criteria. Then when it does, we alert you. You immediately get an alert. It says, we bought this stock, X stock, at $30. So you get an alert immediately. What's better than that? I mean, nobody does that for you. But the most important thing, they'll say, okay, here's why we're getting out now, or here's why we're taking profits. I think it's going to go down. Look, the most important thing is this. I want you to be prepared for when the market does tank or rally, that you're with us, Phil's Gang. 877-600-GANG. Join my gang right now, Phil's Gang. 877-600-GANG, and you'll be in position, and you'll sleep at night, and you don't have to worry.
Find out more at philsgang.com or call 877-600-GANG. That's 877-600-4264. That's 877-600-4264.
When the markets open, we watch the market all day long. And when we see there's an opportunity for a stock, and it's a stock that we've been following, there's a lot of stocks we put on our watch list, and it has to hit a certain criteria. Then when it does, we alert you. You immediately get an alert. It says, we bought this stock, X stock, at $30. So you get an alert immediately. What's better than that? I mean, nobody does that for you. But the most important thing, they'll say, okay, here's why we're getting out now, or here's why we're taking profits. I think it's going to go down. Look, the most important thing is this. I want you to be prepared for when the market does tank or rally, that you're with us, Phil's Gang. 877-600-GANG. Join my gang right now, Phil's Gang. 877-600-GANG, and you'll be in position, and you'll sleep at night, and you don't have to worry.
Find out more at philsgang.com or call 877-600-GANG. That's 877-600-4264. That's 877-600-4264. What if you could have an in-depth understanding of the stock market just like the pros? Well, thanks to Phil Grande and philsgang.com, you can. PhilsGang.com offers comprehensive, up-to-date market information designed to help you understand and anticipate market behavior. With PhilsGang.com, you'll build your investing confidence even through down cycles and periods of uncertainty. Go to PhilsGang.com. PhilsGang.com today. 877-600-GANG. 877-600-4264.
When the market's open, we watch the market all day long. And when we see there's an opportunity for a stock, and it's a stock that we've been following, there's a lot of stocks we put on our watch list, and it has to hit a certain criteria. Then when it does, we alert you. You immediately get an alert that says, we bought this stock, X stock, at $30. So you get an alert immediately. What's better than that? I mean, nobody does that for you. But the most important thing, they'll say, okay, here's why we're getting out now, or here's why we're taking profits. I think it's going to go down. Look, the most important thing is this. I want you to be prepared for when the market does tank or rally, that you're with us, Phil's Gang. 877-600-GANG. Join my gang right now, Phil's Gang. 877-600-GANG, and you'll be in position, and you'll sleep at night, and you don't have to worry.
Find out more at philsgang.com or call 877-600-GANG. That's 877-600-4264. That's 877-600-4264. Why pay thousands of dollars for a weekend seminar when for only $39.95 a month? PhilsGang.com provides all the daily market investing information you need to make profits in the stock market. With over 40 years of investing experience, only Phil Grande and the PhilsGang.com team provide daily live investing webinars, up-to-the-minute market updates, all the investing educational videos you can imagine. Don't hesitate to learn, invest, and make profits. Go to philsgang.com or call 877-600-GANG. 877-600-4264.
Hi, I'm Phil Grande at philsgang.com. You probably heard me on the radio talking about investing in stocks and trading stocks. Well, this is a special message that I am sending out to you. You, the person who is the beginner, who are getting excited. You're seeing every day the stock market going up, never comes down, keeps going up because of the tremendous stimulus that the president is putting into this market. He wants to continue this market going up while the economy's going down. And that's what it's doing. The economy's going straight down. You know, banks right now, worst ever. They've gone down 40%. I mean, everything's going down. Companies aren't making money, but the stock market's still going up. And you got to be very, very careful when you get into a market like this. You got to know when to get out, and that's where we come in. So if you're a beginner and you want to start learning how to invest stocks properly and have the comfort level of knowing when to get out, when to buy, when to sell, and when to get out, contact us at philsgang.com. Join today, free for 10 days.
Welcome back. Learn, invest, and make profits with Phil Grande. Simply go to philsgang.com. Now, here's Phil.
And welcome back to Phil's Gang. The market's down 331 points. I told you they're going to be a 10% correction, and then we're going to get the 10% back, and then that's when at some point we'll get a crash. Remember, the NASDAQ during the dot-com collapsed by 75-80%. It's going to be the same. It's going to be the same, because, or maybe even a little bit worse. I don't know how much worse you can get. 70-80% is pretty much over, because this time it's worse. Because remember, if you go back to 2013 to where we are today, the whole stock market, especially the NASDAQ, if you take the S&P 500 stocks, 6 stocks, all the big tech stocks, you know them all, they're driving the whole S&P up. They've been doing it for 13 years. And how have they been doing it? They've been doing it by QE, printing money. By changing the monetary policy, instead of printing money to increase productivity, to increase wages, which increase savings, increase spending, which contributes 75% to our economic growth. They stopped that. They stopped that in 2013. Totally. 2013, especially around 2014, when all the big tech stocks started to go up, they continued with this ridiculous quantitative easing. Not only keeping interest rates at zero, but now going into these bad companies, instead of them letting them go broke, get rid of all these bad companies, take their assets, give them to the good companies. They go in and save all these bad companies by going and buying all their different assets. The Federal Reserve does that and puts it on their balance sheet. You realize in 2000, under this QE program, under 2008, the assets where the Federal Reserve would go into a company and buy its assets so they could have cash so they wouldn't go broke. It was only $850 billion. We're at $8 trillion. Because the other thing we do that's so dangerous, since 2008, is we go and we've been saving the country. Yeah. The United States is broke. It has a negative net worth. So what do? The Federal Reserve prints this money. They go to the Treasury, okay, and they buy all their debt. They buy all the debt. That's why they will never stop QE. Because QE, they want all this printing of money, so they continue to go in and buy all the bad assets from the banks, but continue to go in with all these dollars. The more dollars you print, they can go and reduce the debt of our country with all this printing of money. The more you print money, the more the value of the dollar goes down. And then that's how they get their debt down with China. I said this many times. They go to China and they owe China $1 trillion. Now the dollar's only worth 80 cents. They owe them $1 trillion. They go to China and say, oh, no, we don't owe you $1 trillion anymore. We just paid down our debt to $800 billion. Well, you didn't give me a check. Oh, no, I know, but the dollar's now down, is only now worth 80 cents on a dollar. So that means we don't owe you $1 trillion. We only owe you $800 billion. And that's how they've been reducing their debt. That's part of this QE program. See, and as long as they only can do that by printing money. See, they can never reduce their debt through increase in revenues. No, what company cares about increasing revenues? They don't care about increasing their revenues. The majority of only 5, 6, a handful of companies do. The big tech companies. But all the other companies, they're not increasing their revenues. All they do is keep borrowing money at zero interest rates, buying their own stock back, pushes up their earnings artificially, a lie. Their earnings are a big lie when they say our earnings went up 3% last quarter or 5% last quarter. It's a lie. They went down 3 or 5%. They didn't go up. And then that pushes up their stock 5, 6%. So you're buying stocks that are so overvalued. And when you go and take a look of the price to sales ratio, again, the value placed on each dollar of the company's sales is outrageous. Do you know right now it's worse now than it was during the dot-com days at its peak? Euphoria is worse now than the dot-com at its peak. But guess what? What's going to tip this over is capital gains increase. Now think about this. In 1990, they're talking about AOC's walking around with her dress, right? Tax the rich, tax the rich. On her dress, this child, tax the rich. Increase capital gains. Double it from 20 to 40%. And she paid 35. I'd like to know where she got the 35 grand for her ticket, by the way. Thank you for reminding me of that, Alex. She had to pay 35 grand to get in there. Oh, I'm sure all the old farts in the Democrat Party pitched in for her. God, they follow her around like a hound dog. It's unbelievable. So in 1993, let's get to where I'm trying to get here, is that why is it they're going for capital gains when the success of Clinton's economy was based on cutting the capital gains tax? In 1993, he fell into the same trap that Biden's falling into now. On February 15, 1993, he's saying the same thing. I think Biden, he plagiarizes everything. He took the same words. On February 15, 1993, Clinton told the nation that he decided to increase the taxes, especially on capital gains, to double them, or go from 20 to 28%. So to pay for all the increased spending that they're doing, investing in the future, creating jobs, expanding education, investing into education, reforming healthcare, all these investments. We gotta tax the rich to pay for all this, Clinton said in 1993. Well, what happened when the capital gains went up? What happened? The revenues dropped. They received less revenue. So he turns around in 1997 and he learned a huge lesson, and he turned around and he dropped the tax rate, capital gains rate, from 28 to 20%. And his tax revenue at the Treasury increased by 59%. And every time you hear how Clinton had the most successful economy and he left with a surplus, no, the president's done it because he cut the capital gains. Not only do we have that history, We have 50 years of histories of what happened. We go back 50 years. We have 50 years of history that identifies what happens when each president increases capital gains. It's a failure. You know why they're doing it? They're doing it for the same reasons that they decided not to build the rest of the wall in Mexico, to Mexico and Texas and all those other southern states, out of hatred. Why he decided to get rid of it, to take the permits away from the Keystone Pipeline. Why he decided to give the permit that Trump wouldn't do. Trump would not give the permit for Putin to move his gas through the pipeline down to Europe, because he didn't want Putin to get wealthy off of it. And he didn't want to have Europe by the throat. But why did Biden do that? Out of hatred. The Paris Peace Accord. We were paying the bulk of everything. We were paying India. We were paying all their costs, what they owed, part of this Paris Peace Accord. We were putting in most of the money and getting nothing out of it. And China and India was doing all the polluting. They're doing 80% of the polluting, and we're putting in 80% of the money. Trump got all that. Nope, he ripped that up. We're back into that deal. Why did he do all this? For the same reason that he stayed with the one contract he didn't reverse. The contract between Trump's administration and the Taliban. Why is it? And when I get so sick to my stomach when I listen to the Secretary of State, and he's on TV all day, Secretary of State, and he's telling everybody, well, the reason we're in this mess is because we had to stay with the agreement that President Trump completed with the Taliban. Well, wait a minute. You didn't keep any other agreements. You couldn't change this agreement? They did that on purpose. They knew it was going to be a debacle, but they had no idea it was going to be this bad. They had no idea it was going to be this bad. That's why they kept to the only agreement they kept of Trump was this one that he had with. So they knew he could blame Trump for what was going on in the Afghan in our pullout. Blew up in their face, didn't it? More on stocks when you get back. The Dow's down 318 points. Why aren't you with us shorting stocks? Join my gang free for 10 days.
The show? Go to philsgang.com or give them a call at 877-600-GANG. What if you could have an in-depth understanding of the stock market just like the pros? Well, thanks to Phil Grande and philsgang.com, you can. philsgang.com offers comprehensive, up-to-date market information designed to help you understand and anticipate market behavior. With philsgang.com, you'll build your investing confidence even through down cycles and periods of uncertainty. Go to philsgang.com. philsgang.com today. 877-600-GANG. 877-600-4264.
Did you know breast cancer kills 113 people every day? That's unacceptable.
African American women die from breast cancer nearly 41% more than Caucasian women.
That's unacceptable.
Breast cancer is the leading cause of all cancer deaths for Hispanic women.
Breast cancer is unacceptable.
Together with Susan G. Komen, we're committed to reducing U.S. breast cancer deaths by half.
And we're going to do it by 2026.
Visit Komen.org/unacceptable.
Remember, when this market crashed in 2009, it should have never crashed because the chairperson of these two committees, their job was to protect consumers, protect our investments, and they're supposed to ensure that our investments are being monitored. Where were they in 2009 and 2008? They weren't anywhere because they don't do that. They take care of themselves. They protect themselves. They become richer. So you can't depend on these crooks in Congress. The stock market is a great place to be, but you just got to know this is a different market than your grandfather's market. So why don't you, for 30 days, join my gang, 877-600-GANG, try it for 30 days, $39.95. Follow me. I tell you when to buy, when to sell, when to add, and when to run like hell. All I ask you, start making money. Please remember St. Jude.
Don't wait. Join Phil's Gang today and make profits. Go to philsgang.com or call 877-600-GANG. That's 877-600-4264. That's 877-600-4264. Short on time but want to invest in the stock market? Let philsgang.com help you. For only $39.95 a month, you get complete access to all of Phil's powerful investing programs, videos, and resources.
That works for me. Log in, watch the videos, and make profits.
Find out more at philsgang.com or call 877-600-GANG. That's 877-600-4264. philsgang.com.
At St. Jude Children's Research Hospital, we're fighting against childhood cancer every day. At the heart of this battle are our donors.
Most of us want to make some type of difference in the lives of others. St. Jude does miraculous work.
The fact that no one has to pay, it's a place where everyone is treated as an equal.
Everybody is welcome here. And it doesn't matter your religion or what part of the world you're from, all that is taken away. It just gives you some hope.
It's just a nice feeling to put your energy into something that really does genuinely make a difference in a child's life.
There's just no greater gift. If we have the ability to help, then we have a responsibility to help.
Finding cures, saving children. St. Jude Children's Research Hospital. Find out how you can help at stjude.org.
What, are you nuts? If the stock market can make you so rich, especially Apple and Microsoft and Google and Amazon and the rest, why are so many Americans poor? If the 401k promises you a retirement, then why is it we are in a retirement crisis? Here's the answer. Because 85% of you get out of the market too late. I fixed that with my color-coded chart, which tells you when to buy, when to sell, and when to get out. That's right, when to run like hell. Check it out. You get a free membership and the free color-coded chart for 10 days. Check it out, philsgang.com.
Welcome back. Learn, invest, and make profits with Phil Grande. Simply go to philsgang.com. Now, here's Phil.
And welcome back to Phil's Gang. I just can't watch Blinken. I mean, he's just, when he's on TV, you know how you know he's lying? Because his mouth is running. And the Republicans are a joke. The one thing about the Democrats, if you notice, they're really organized. You can tell they got together with Anthony Blinken before all of this, and they knew what questions. He knew what questions that they were going to be asking him. They rehearsed all that. The Republicans go in like a bunch of dopes. They don't work with each other. They never do. That's one thing about why you can never beat a Democrat. Because these gangsters, okay? No, you take Pelosi, she runs that army so tight. She's like a general, and they're fearful of her. And going into that hearing, they're all organized, and you could tell the way because every senator came on, it was a Democrat, started with, well, isn't the reason that this happened because we were stuck with the Trump agreement between him and the Taliban. Oh, yes, that's why. And then when he said that, when he would answer and say, yes, that's why, Mr. Congressman, instead of the next Republican picking that up and say, whoa, wait a minute here. Would you guys rehearse this? That's a bunch of nonsense. And I would address not just Blinken, I would address the senator who brought that up to Blinken. Blinken knew exactly what he's going to answer. And I'd say to that senator, the Democrat, that's a lie. If Biden in his first 10 days got rid of every agreement that Trump put together, whether it was Iran, Paris, or the Keystone Pipeline, and he got rid of them up. Oh, he kept this one, though. He couldn't get rid of that one, though. He couldn't change that one, could he? Don't lie. You did it on purpose, but you didn't realize you're going to screw up this bad. You thought it would go bad, but you'd get everybody out in time, everything would be fine, and then you could blame it on him. It didn't work, did it? It's the same thing with the stock market. Do you think they're any different in the stock market? The gangsters? Let me tell you, the Republicans and Democrats are gangsters. Republicans, Democrats, they're no good. Either party's any good. They don't care about you and me. They care about their party. They care about their party, especially the Democrats. Parties first. The nation is last. You and I are last. So going back to what is going on with capital gains, why you need to understand how to short a stock, because the market is going to collapse. It can't keep going like this. And we're seeing the signs every day. And I explain every morning to my members these signs, and I watch them as these signs get worse and worse. We're seeing things that are worse than we saw before the dot-com crash, worse than we saw before what we saw before the housing crash. They're worse. It's unbelievable. And the capital gains is the killer. Just think about it for one moment. Everything you read, they give Clinton the highest score as a president who ran a fantastic economy. They said he's the only one that ever had a surplus. Why? Because he learned one thing, to cut the capital gains tax. When he, on February 15, 1993, went in and said he has to raise taxes, the capital gains tax, because they need to pay for increased spending. Isn't that the same thing they're saying today? We need to raise taxes on the rich. It's not just the rich. You don't get a bill. Someone who's making $65,000 a year or less, you don't get a bill. But when you go to the gas pump, it's going to cost you more. You go get food, it's going to cost you more. You go to the ball game, it's going to cost you more. Everything's going to cost you more. That's how they get you. And Clinton realized that he brought in less revenue. So he cut the capital gains tax when he ran for a second term. He cut it back to 20%. I think he went from 20 to 28, then he cut it back from 28 to 20. Now we're going to 20 to 40. At AOC, here's what drives me nuts. She's running around with a dress, tax the rich, tax the rich. But understand this country, when you invest in something, you're taking a risk. Shouldn't we be paid for taking a risk? I don't care if you're going to buy a business or start a business, you're going to invest. You're putting your money out there. If you borrow money, you're signing your name to a note at the bank. You're taking a risk. Oh, you're not supposed to get any credit for that? You're not supposed to get any reward for that? Well, take a look at Venezuela. Take a look at Cuba. Take a look at North Korea, which AOC and the Democrats want. And the young kids in our country want. So what they should be doing is reducing the withholding tax you have to pay every week out of your pay. Reduce those. Cut those by 50%. Give you more money to spend. Oh, no, they're not going to do that. So the best thing to do, the only way you're going to win, and only 20% of the people in the stock market ever make money, because what do they know? They know when to get out of a stock. You don't know that. And better yet, they know when to sell short. And how do they know? Because we designed, and it's patented, a chart, with color-coded technology that gives you a call to action. Stephen, head of our education department, had our members in Apple up 19%. It turned yellow. Call to action. He removed them, got them out. And now he'll turn around and tell them to sell short. Make money on the way back down. It was the color code that warned him. And every day at 2 o'clock, he posts our portfolio. The same stocks that we've been in for years. All you have to do is follow the portfolio. That's all you have to do, because every day at 2 o'clock he posts it. Here, he's talking about one of our stocks, Intel. We've been in that for years.
Intel, let's put an advanced order at 57.10 to go long, okay? But you just got to be patient with it. That means you're trying to...
Do you have anybody do that for you? Does somebody do that for you? You get a call from somebody that's running your 401k, tells you, here's what we're going to do, we're going to change the stocks. You have no idea. And do you realize when the market starts going down, we're first going to get this 10% correction. They do that first to suck you in, because then everybody buys on the pullback, buy on the pullback. You hear all these dopes, Charles Payne, Varney, buying, It's a rocket ship.
Our economy is surging along. It's surging.
What happened? The market fell 31% right after he said that. Vardy.
I think we do have a rocket ship.
Yeah, the market fell 31%. Unbelievable. Unbelievable. These people have no fiduciary relationship with you.
Our responsibility begins and ends with our partners and our shareholders, and that's it.
And that's why we thought we better develop, after being on this earth for 75 years, in this business for 52 years, I looked up the other night, 52 years, I decided we better build a chart that tells people when to get out. The institutions are pulling their money out. See, when institutions pull their money out, you don't see it. 99% of the stockbrokers they don't see it. They don't know anything. They're told every day what to sell you. They're salesmen. They're con men. They're salesmen. They're there to sell you every day. They got prizes. Whoever sells the most stocks on Tuesday, you're gonna get the tickets to the World Series. That's their motivation. They don't care about you. You're just a sucker. And the 401k, that is a piece of garbage. It's a piece of garbage. That wasn't designed to replace the pension. You got screwed on that. Let me ask you, if the 401k was so good, wouldn't they have a national program to educate you with the 401k? No. You notice no companies offer a program that's organized? There should be one program organized but all for it. No. Because they steal from you. When you go to retire, what you don't realize right now, 30% of the money that you put aside is gone to them. You make more money in the S&P. My members make more money in the S&P than they ever make with a 401k. Why? You don't have those fees. And you don't have the 27 hidden fees on top of the fees. And guess what? It will always tell you, it will give you a call to action if money starts coming out of the S&Ps or any stock. Try it for 10 days. It's free. And if you stay and you like it, you make money, please help St. Jude. We'll see you on the charts.
You have been listening to Phil's Gang with your host, Phil Grande, on the Off the Wall Street Radio Network. Off the Wall Street Radio Network. Remember to visit Phil's website at philsgang.com. That's philsgang.com. Or call the office, 877-600-4264. That's 877-600-4264.
It's up to me to make my dream.